when you were young and used to sit and doodle when you were on the phone. I do try and sketch, but yeah, I've been painting, doing graffiti for a couple of years. I used to draw cars, the standard spiky cars and all kinds of stuff. I did have a whole raft of little toy cars. I remember the little Barrage model size, all of those. I think everybody had those. Every kid, every guy had those. So I had a couple of those, the usual ones, the F40, the EB110, things like that. The reason I have a sort of collection of models and sort of displays sat around is it's just something to bring my love of cars and motoring into everyday life. I like the wedge, I like Countach, any Lamborghini, I just like a wedge. I love all cars and a lot of designs and some quite strange choices and eccentric choices, but I think the wedge is just a fantastic version or shape for a car because it looks like it's travelling when it's not. We used to go down to visit my uncle down in Cornwall, and he used to take me out in this low, flat wedge of a car, which as I grew older learned to be an Esprit. And I remember he used to tootle around the lanes incredibly slowly, and then all of a sudden he sort of announced that, right, that should have warmed it up, let's go. And he used to boot it and just start nailing it around. I used to love it as a kid. From a very, very young age, I always wanted an Esprit, always. Bought the car on the pretense that everything was running fine and it was a brilliant car. It wasn't. There were a multitude of issues with it. It had been in storage, the engine was shot, the windscreen was smashed, the gearbox was broken. There was a whole raft of things that were wrong with the car. I spent a lot on preventative maintenance. It's really a car I'd want to keep, but it has cost a lot to run. It didn't cost very much to buy, but I justify it and say, well, I don't have a heroin habit. First and foremost, the blue car, which is my 1981 Esprit S3 NA, which is the normally aspirated car. I originally wanted an NA car because they are supposedly the more reliable ones. That's a lie. I think I really prefer the look of them. They are slightly sleeker, cleaner. Obviously the original Esprit was penned by Giugiaro. There's loads of different ways to say that surname, but he did the S1, which obviously appeared in the Bond film, and then it sort of grew and developed from there and sprouted wings and louvers and spoilers and stuff like that. The Turbo Esprit, exactly the same as the Bond For Your Eyes Only bronze car, and as a result, I think they only made, figures vary, between 25 and 45 in bronze, and it has complimented wheels. Now, the earliest Turbo Esprits had three-piece split rim complimentives. These weren't actually very good wheels, and they later changed to BBS one-piece wheels, which I have on the other car. I hate these people that just have a car and stick it in a garage and never use it. I'm not that kind of person, not that kind of individual. It's all about a great ride, running through the gears, listening to the noises, making sure it's not going to break on you, there's not any strange noise you don't recognise. That's kind of what driving is for me. The car itself is very light, obviously all fiberglass, so it picks up and goes. Considering it doesn't have the biggest engine, which is only 160, 170 brake. The Esprit is actually a very, very, very good motorway cruiser. It's a decent GT car. The seats are like a rubbish sofa. When you go around your mate's house and there's a sofa where your knees are above your bum and you sort of just recline into it. It's just like that. But the NA, my blue Esprit, is more playful than the Turbo. It's more Elise-like. It's better for town. You just stamp on it and it will go. Sort of runs out of revs at the top end when compared to the Turbo, but it's an absolute joy to drive. The real drama of any car, especially such a rare car and a car like this, is when you're walking down the street and you see one sat in traffic, or it just comes bumbling past you on a high street and you know, next to all the other identikit Euro boxes, it's just something different. A car can be just a box to get you from A to B, but in the right time, right place, and the right car, it's a connection.